I'm Corporal William Dewit with Macon-Bibb County Fire Department, and I'm assigned to Engine 3 at Fire Station 3, Battalion 22, second shift. For the most part, I'm always going to be driving this specific apparatus, which is what we refer to as an engine. It's going to be what we consider like the heartbeat of the fire scene. So when we pull up, we're securing our water for firefighters to take the lines inside the house and suppress the fire. My job specifically is to secure the water source, hook it into the truck. Once it's hooked in the truck, I'm operating the pump panel on the driver's side of the truck over here, making sure that they have the right amount of water at the right time for the right distances of the hose lengths as well. So there's a little bit of math you have to figure out on the fly, and you go from there. But when I'm not driving, I may also be riding the seat as an officer. I would be in charge of the crew. Or some days I could be on the back of the truck, and that's where all the fun happens. You get to go do all the firefighting that way. So, but it's a progression. You start out on the back and you work your way up to driver, from driver to officer. So I'm kind of in that mid-range right now. It's what we call the secret or silent killer in the fire service is cancer. Unfortunately, back in the 70s and 60s, there wasn't a lot of open information in regards to our exposures to different chemicals, specifically the carcinogens from the burn-off when we go inside of the structure fires. And then that paired with the 80s, 90s, and 2000s, they're making materials inside the house as fire retardant. Unfortunately, it's a good thing for y'all, meaning your house doesn't catch on fire quite as fast, but unfortunately for us, once it does, the chemicals that's being off-put in those gases is what is causing the cancer for us. So every time we go in the house, not only at risk from the fire, we're at risk from the cancers. And I realized that we needed to have a mitigation plan, something that could help quell that rate of infection, I guess, if you will, is one way to put it, or exposure, limit our exposure to it. And, we came up with, and not just myself, but several other firefighters came up with a decontamination process that we can do on scene that helps take those bad chemicals and smoke and soot off of us, so that it's less time being exposed to the carcinogens or the chemicals. And every apparatus has one of our decon buckets, and it's something that we try and do on scene every time after a fire. There are the cases where sometimes we may have to pick up a call and leave that fire call and go to another one, but it's something that we do every day after every fire for sure. I was actually at our state training center in Forsyth, Georgia, at Georgia Public Safety Training Center. We were taking a structural fire control class, and one of the instructors had brought it up, asked how many departments had it, and there was probably 50 people in this class. Only 2 people raised their hand. You see departments like Boston, for example, they have a great YouTube video that is incredibly sad, but it's humbling, or humbling is the right word. It brings it down to earth, and they, in the past 15 years, had almost 150 firemen who had retired, then contracted cancer, and it was job-related exposure cancer. And they showed us that video that explained to us what our risks were. We all know that the building's on fire. That's why we have our bunker gear. But in reality, the bunker gear can get dirty and then cause harm to us. And so that kind of got the ball spinning. I came back here. I talked with my battalion chief, who's still my same battalion chief, Jeff Sanders, a couple of the officers in and around the department, and we started asking what we could do to make a difference. So the first thing we did was get a surplus of extra hoods for every firefighter to be able to, on scene, take the dirty hood off once he came out of fighting fire, exchange it with the battalion chief for a clean one, and go ahead and have another one put back on. That was our first step. From there, we then developed the decontamination process, or the bucket we've got over here on the side of the truck that we use to clean our firefighters off with. And that came from help from all over the country. Washington State's a great state that's on the forefront for it. And Fedi University in Louisiana, and tied in with LSU, they do a great decontamination video and plan. We got some of their plans from them, and we worked it out to make it work for us. So that's kind of how I knew that we're going in house fires quite regularly. Right now, radio is quite, but at any moment one could pick up here in Macon, and we have some guys we're gonna have to go inside of one. It was something that we all knew it, we just weren't addressing it until somebody else brought the idea to us. It's an awesome job. There's nothing that you can't do. In 5 years, I've had an incredible amount of opportunities presented to me, whether it be through the cancer awareness, bringing that to the forefront for our department. I've been able to take countless classes at our training center. I've made connections throughout the country on different fire departments. I mean, you can come in this job and just be a firefighter and love it, or you can come in this job and you can be a diver. You can be on our technical rescue team, which is what we call our GSAR teams. You can be an instructor. You can teach CPR. There's administrative jobs downtown that deal with building code enforcement that people like and love. There's education. We have some of the best educators in the state in and around here going to these schools and things like that. It's what you make of it.